Hey, this is Chuck, and you are listening to Fans with Bands, the podcast where we talk to the fans and the bands they dig about life, music, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about. Today on Fans with Bands, we are talking with the Lucid Furs. Check it out. Hey, this is Chuck with Fans with Bands, and I am talking to Karen, Nick, and Gordie was there, but he left, and he's hopefully coming back from the Lucid Furs. How you guys doing?
Good. Hi.
Great.
Awesome. And we have fan Kate is here, but she's having a little trouble with her audio, so we may or may not hear from her, but she's here. So anyway, so I usually start off with the fans, but since Kate's on mute, we'll start with you guys. How right before everything went to hell in 2020, you guys had started to do some shows, raising some money for this really cool spring tour. And then the pandemic hit and put the brakes on everything. So what have you guys been doing to keep your sanity?
Well, when that happened, we were also in the middle of recording. So that was put on hold for a minute.
Yeah.
When the actual lockdown was happening. But after things loosened up, we went in the studio because we don't even need, to be in the same room with the engineer. And
right.
So the tours had to be canceled, which is a bummer, but it's understandable. We'll go and hit those places, as soon as I see a window where I think there's an end in sight, I'm going to get on the computer and start booking immediately.
Yeah.
Coming to Texas and trying to get to Canada finally.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So, have you looked to see, because as we know, the pandemic and the shutdown has really put a crunch on all the musicians. You guys are hurting for music, but the music venues themselves are hurting. So are some of the places that you were planning to go to closed or indeterminate as to whether they're going to open?
I think a few of them opened back up, but we were that tour was for April, which was right in the middle of it. And then the next tour I was working on was going to be July, and that was in Canada, and I can't go to Canada. So,
right.
So I've seen a few places open back up, but it doesn't seem worth it really to go out and not safe.
Yeah.
So we just wait until an end is in sight, and then we'll get back at it, as soon as we can.
Yeah.
We've been working on music and writing new songs. We wrote some acoustic songs, and
we stay busy.
Yeah, we've been staying busy.
We had a good long cry after everything got canceled. Not together, but just we don't cry together.
No, of course not. Especially not in a cuddling fashion or anything. Definitely not. I mean, but I don't know.
A cry coming on right now. No.
We're on camera.
So you basically guys get together, you're all put on happy faces, but then go over into the corner or over into the closet.
We all have our own corners.
We're thinking about the missed shows, and, It is.
I don't dates come up. I'm like, oh, it's July 15th. I should have been in Montreal.
Yeah. We were supposed to go. We'd booked this trip to Ireland because we wanted to go. It's awesome and everything. Had everything lined up, and it was supposed to be in May. But then everything was screwed.
Travel ban and all that.
Yeah. So I did see that you guys are working on in the kitchen, doing some recording, old school, setting up the recording.
Vintage
in the vintage kitchen. It's awesome. So it looked like it was going to be acoustic. So are you redoing existing songs in acoustic, or are you writing totally new music? But
mix of both.
Yeah. Mostly new music, but I think we'll do at least one cover in there.
Cool. Yeah. And any particular songs off of No God, No Problem?
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't know if we were.
Should I tell him?
We got. I think one though for sure.
Oh, cool.
We got one.
It's one. Yeah, it's a good one.
Books.
It's a good one.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, because I love that album. And but I was trying to think when I saw the pictures of you guys recording in the kitchen. I'm thinking, which song could it be?
Yeah.
And then some of the ones that I really love are kind of like heavy, you know, like Kill the Righteous. And I'm thinking,
It
how
took
would
a
that
little
sound acoustic? You know?
Yeah, it took a little bit of rework.
No, not yeah, but not all of them will work.
We
Yeah.
tried.
We did try some, but we're like,
Yeah. Actually,
this doesn't sound quite right.
The one that we picked, I actually wrote on acoustic originally, so it worked.
So yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's an electric song. But yeah, it worked
Oh,
out.
cool. Awesome. So are you gonna you know, some studios have opened up and stuff. Are you gonna actually go in a studio, or are you just gonna do the DIY from home thing?
Well, we did go to the studio, and like I said, right before quarantine, we were like part way through. We were like, finishing up guitars.
Oh,
So when the lockdown was happening, then we went back, and we did we recorded it. Now we're just waiting for mixes and masters to come back. So
yeah.
So we have both. We're working on the acoustic, like we're doing that, you know, do it yourself. But we did record an album prior to that we're still sitting on too.
Yeah,
Right. So
basically the third album, you know,
Mhm.
third electric album.
Yeah.
are you gonna just hold that one until you can get out and actually support it?
yeah, I think so. I mean, there'll come a time where it's like, okay, like put it out, you know.
Yeah.
If COVID ends up lasting for a whole nother year, we're not gonna want to wait that long. But
Yeah.
Be sick of the songs by the time we put them on.
We'll be touring with new songs by then.
right. So yeah, we're gonna wait it out, and hopefully by next spring, people will be.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, there is vaccines out now, and even if I saw something that said recently, like even if people aren't vaccinated, there's going to be so many people that have had it by the spring that
It's already like that.
Yeah. it's going to be kind of that herd immunity or whatever it is. So yeah,
I hope so.
Yeah.
So I have followed you guys for a while, and I was curious, when did you decide that, like for each of you, and this is kind of a question for each of you, when did you decide, like, I want to play music in a band and tour?
Oh, man. I mean, I knew right when I started playing guitar, I was kind of older. You know, I started when I was like 17.
Uh-huh.
But I knew right away that I wanted to play in a band, because just playing by myself, like, isn't the same as, like, I don't get the same feeling, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I have to play with people. As far as touring, it always seemed like this crazy dream to me. And then once I joined up with the Furs, I was just like, oh my God, this is awesome.
We went on our first tour like 2 or 3 months after you joined the band.
Yeah, so it was just like from 0 to 60. And I loved it.
Well, you know, because it's a lot of bands. I mean, they'll start, do some local things, and they just stay local, which is totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. But there's certain bands like you guys that want to do a little bit more and be like out there, getting your music out to markets beyond where your home market is.
Yeah.
So
I think we also want to do a little bit less of like everything that's not music. So that's really what pushes us out there.
Yeah. We're like, yeah, work sucks. Fucking, work sucks. I'm gonna go play guitar.
Right.
Right.
Going on tour, can't work. Sorry.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'll go for a pack of smokes.
Yeah.
3 weeks later, hey, I'm back. Was a hell of a trip.
Hey, son, they have no money. You know, right?
You got memories.
That's where the cuddle cry comes in.
Yeah.
We'll do that. I always wanted to play music. I was raised in a family of, like, everyone in my family plays music. So it was always just like, I don't know, I guess I have to start. I was born on January. So, yeah, it's always been ingrained in me, and I've been doing it for a long time, too. But never touring with these guys before, which is a riot.
Cool.
Yeah.
Karen, how about you?
Well, I I was playing with Karmic Lava for a while, and then I kind of like figured I wanted to do something else. But I before Karmic Lava, I was like, I can't be in a band because I didn't think I had the courage to get up on stage and sing. I was like terrified. My first show, I shook like I was about to have a seizure. It was just like. But after that, I ended up loving it, and then wanting to go off and do something different that I could take on the road.
Yeah.
And worked at it, and ended up went through a couple of people, jammed, and eventually ended up with these guys and went on the road.
See how her story gets worse and worse.
Then I kind of found these.
You ended up with us.
Yeah, we're working out a lifetime manuscript. My tragic tale.
Yeah.
The bus has to stop somewhere. You know?
Oh man. So when you've been out on the road, I've seen, you guys have posted some behind the scenes, hey, we're having fun doing this and that. What were some of the highlights, places you went that you were, I guess, most attracted to and can't wait to get back to?
Man, like New Mexico. New Mexico was just awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
The beautiful red clay, like canyons and the cacti and all the tumbleweeds and the
Yeah. Where did you guys play there?
Albuquerque.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think just outside of Albuquerque, pretty much.
Yeah.
I forget.
Yeah, that was Albuquerque, I think. And there was peppers on everything. That's how you know you're in Albuquerque. Door handles, letters, and your signs. Like,
Right.
The whole place is like a chill.
it's just peppers everywhere.
The street lights are like a green bell pepper, a Hungarian yellow pepper, and like a cayenne. Like, stop. It's spicy.
And they do have some badass breakfast burritos there.
Oh yeah. Oh,
yeah, we had some pretty good food now.
They don't skimp on the avocado down there. Like it's like a lot.
Because they're
like,
so much closer to the source. Because
they're closer to the source.
They're
That's
fresher.
why
They haven't been frozen for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's great.
Closer you are to the well,
Yeah.
the better you drink. You know?
I really love
I
Texas.
drink well.
Everywhere we've been in Texas has been awesome to us.
Yeah.
Always good crowds, really nice people. I also really like New York because I'm just like fascinated with New York because it's so huge and I could never possibly explore all of it.
Right.
I feel like people that live in New York for their whole lives and not know like certain areas.
It's like Peter
Still.
Parker's amongst them. He's
out there. Doc Ock is somewhere out there.
Yeah, I had fun with you guys in New York too. We got to run the city and eat good food. I think eating good food is like a really good part of traveling with the band.
Oh,
I don't know if every band does that, but we do it.
Actually, me and Nick like ran off to find a taco spot, right?
Yeah, we had to find a good taco spot.
Dude, they had a big graffiti on like a roll down door,
It was
Yeah.
great.
and it said Norbert 3000. You know, it was sweet.
I don't remember that.
I took a picture of it and sent it to Norbert, you know, because he wasn't with us on this tour. And it blew his mind.
The thing that blew my mind was like the taco spot was it was like indoors, like it was a restaurant, but it was BYOB. It was bringing, and people were walking in with bags of beer and shit. I was like, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a cool
I
concept.
fucked up
I
on
was
that
excited.
trip because I went and got Chinese food. It
It
was good though.
Oh.
New York Chinese food is different. It's so much better than everywhere else, I swear.
Really?
Chow mein, New York. Real.
I know we should have got pizza. I know that too. But
Oh, right. Yeah, you were in New York. New York
Yeah,
pizzas.
I
Come
know.
on.
We got pizza in Jersey, and they claim that like their pizza is the original. Like, no, not New York. It's
Yeah.
New Jersey.
They're
I
not
got pizza in
original.
New Jersey.
yeah. I love the feud over. I wish we could fight with somebody over like.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about apples.
Wisconsin, maybe?
Michigan's got cherries. And we got a lot more beer than you.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's true.
Good argument.
Yeah, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
More
They
beer
got a lot of beer.
over here.
Calling out the whole state.
Yeah. We don't need your cheese, Wisconsin. Just keep it.
Well, hold on.
Cheese goes on pizza
We'll
now.
take the cheese. We'll take the cheese.
Oh, you're right, man. What am I thinking?
You keep the Packers.
So is there some place that when you can actually tour that you haven't been that you really are looking forward to? I know you mentioned Canada, but is there particular places in Canada or other places in the United States where you're like, man, I would dig going out there to jam?
I want to go to the North Pole. I'm thinking North Pole, like a whole Christmas
He's
scenario.
got the Christmas spirit.
Like
in
I
him.
got
He's
my
fucking-
they're my elves, right? I'll do like a Santa thing.
He's shorter than both of us. So I don't know why he keeps calling us elves.
All right, I'll be like Rudolph. I'll be Rudolph.
All I can think of is you
You got it right now.
All right, but really,
like thing I can think of, Gordie, when you were talking about that is like being on the set of The Thing, and fucking.
that's my favorite movie. That's my single favorite movie. I don't watch a lot of movies.
I don't watch
But that
is
is
it right here. I don't have a very good opinion.
Yeah,
But
but I've seen The Thing. Dude, John Carpenter, rest in peace, Ennio Morricone. I liked the soundtrack. He just passed away.
I like anything with Kurt Russell. It's got Kurt Russell. I like it.
Kurt Russell, stud with the sweet coat.
Call me Snake.
It's like, let's put Snake Plissken in Antarctica. Right? He's gonna be.
And he's got to get out,
Yeah.
but he can't.
He's
got
not gonna be good at
aliens
chess.
I'm super easy to please. Just anywhere is fine. Just anywhere away from here. I just want to go. I often don't know where we are. I'm just like, we're
That's
here.
true. He'll be like, "What city are we in?"
I don't care. I'm just happy to be in the van.
Yeah, on the road.
For real.
Yeah.
For real.
Karen, how about you?
We haven't made it to California yet. I would love to make it to California. It's pretty much, we've covered the majority of the United States except for California. It just was a little too far to get there in 2 weeks, but we'll do a 3-week at some point and get out there, try play Whiskey a Go-Go or something.
You gotta get out there when it ain't on fire.
Sure.
You gotta go,
Right.
You gotta
That's
go
another
every
thing.
couple months. You can't.
Gotta go
out
in the spring
Yeah.
when everything's wet.
When we went on that West Coast tour, remember it was
Yeah.
smoky?
Everything
was hazy and smoky because it kind of sits in that valley like where Washington and
Really?
Idaho is.
Montana, Washington, and Oregon were all smoky.
Wow.
Everywhere we went.
Really?
Yeah. Just the whole sky was just gray
We
and
weren't
smoky.
even smoking that much weed.
It was not.
We weren't
It
smoking
was
that
not
much
us.
weed.
We didn't throw
Pretty
anything
sure.
out of the window.
Yeah.
I promise.
Yeah.
It was not us.
We tried.
No, we didn't.
I mean, no, we did. Yeah, they're coming for me again. I hear 'em.
So, who were your musical heroes when you were getting started? Who inspired you the most, and what was it about them that inspired you?
You
Who
start.
was-
I was gonna go. I didn't want to. I went
Go
first
ahead.
last time. No, you go ahead.
I would say
first.
mostly, I guess, my family's really musical, so I guess mostly them first, because I
Okay.
was just always around, them playing. Like when we go to Christmas or Thanksgiving, they always will pass around the guitar and they'll play and sing a song.
Really, that's
They
awesome.
all play in original groups. But as far as famous music, I guess growing up, I was always big on the Chili Peppers, and I'm a '90s baby, so all that grunge era stuff.
Yeah.
I was always big on that. Yeah, Pearl Jam, Tool, all of that.
Chris Cornell.
Chris Cornell, obviously, yeah, everybody.
Yeah. Holy crap, that guy. Oh,
It was a good time for music, I think. Yeah, I'm happy to be born in that era.
yeah, no, there was some great. I mean, I liked the grunge era. I was sad, because I'm pretty much a metalhead. So I was a little sad with new metal because I never really got into it, and I was like, what?
Oh, okay.
Fuck?
The new metal was
Well-
not anywhere near as sweet as old metal.
Yeah. Well, mostly because I was like a lead guitar player, and like everybody stopped playing lead guitar, and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
what the hell happened here? But so,
It was a shift, for sure.
all right. So who wants to go next? Gordie?
I guess we could go like in a row, right?
Yeah.
For me, man, I mean, my dad played when I was a kid,
Uh-huh.
and he tried to get me to play for a while, but at the time, I just wasn't into it really.
Yeah.
And then once I finally picked it up and like I just noticed that I could like learn it quick, I'd like dropped everything. So
Too quick.
yeah, too quick, too fast. So my dad, he played, but really as a kid, like even before I played, man, I listened to so much like Hendrix and like like Metallica and stuff. Like I didn't know nothing back then.
I didn't know nothing. Hey, those are good groups.
But
I didn't know nothing.
But man, I think as far as like my favorite guitar player, really, the one who really like I still think about when I'm playing is Grant Green.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like he's a jazzer, right? Like
Yeah.
I started as a jazz guitar player, kind of just learned in jazz band and all that.
Yeah.
But Grant Green was always my main dude.
Cool.
So I still use licks that like are from songs. And he used to always do this like, oh, I'll just repeat for
Yep.
like a minute and a half. And like just kind of barely switch it. He's like, I don't really care. Who
Right.
cares? I don't have to show off. I'm just good at it, Like he was always so cool to me because he always just did like a very specific thing to himself. So that's kind of who I like to idolize.
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. How about you, Karen?
Well, as a kid, I listened to a lot of like R&B and folk. I really liked Jewel when I was a kid.
Cool.
Jules pretty
Jewel's
sweet.
a bad.
Yeah.
You really
Jules pretty sweet.
But as I got a little older, I really got into punk rock. I met like the guys in the Rat Finks and the Amino Acids. I used to sneak into amino acid shows. I've seen them more than anyone else by far. I've seen them so many times. They're a great band. They're good every time.
Yeah.
Great moshing band for sure.
Yeah.
And then as I got a little older, I started getting into started singing more and going into like Queens of the Stone Age and more rock stuff and Sabbath and stuff like that. I always really liked Ann Wilson.
Oh yeah, cool.
I know a lot of people go Janis Joplin, but I'm not a huge Janis Joplin fan. I really like more heart. Me too. I don't know. I just do. I feel like people get mad at me. It would get mad at me if I was just like,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Sweet.
yeah, they both have their own kind of vocal characteristics, and some people dig the, her little bit of like Janis's raspy, more barren, well, not baritone, but it's a lower register than some vocalists. But Anne is more like a kind of a pure singer. She has like just a great vocal range.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. Like I feel like I get a little more like Janis Joplin was kind of like a Joe Cocker or like a where you just like you do all these
like
standards,
the gritty
and
blues.
You do these standards in these songs, and you're like the sweet raspy voice on top of it, which is sweet,
Yeah.
But like, Ann Wilson, I feel like was a little bit more like writer, also, like
just a little more
Ann Wilson from
heart.
Okay. I knew that, but I wanted to be done.
some ribs, dude.
Yeah, and she definitely and like you, Karen, that you project a lot of power through your vocals. So
I think she gets compared kind of to Ann Wilson. I didn't know that was her name, but singer from Heart quite often,
and
which
Nancy.
is a fucking great compliment.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think there is that kind of sound because we have that kind of bluesy sound too that they have a little bit. little bit. Not
Yeah.
compared
No.
to what,
Well, when I
Right.
listened to you guys' music, and that was a question I wanted to ask, to get your take on that. But when I hear you guys, I think there's definitely a blues element in there.
Oh yeah.
But there's this very cool like hard rock aspect with that psychedelic edge, that, and then the two of those meld together. And then
I
Gordie,
like
when you were talking about like Graham Greene, a little bit of that jazziness, especially in some of your phrasing when you're doing your solos. So all that comes together at this really cool kind of, it's psychedelic, but it's a little bit dark and
Yeah.
um can't think of the right word, but there's a darkness, bluesiness, and an undercurrent of I want to say cynicism almost, just kind of a
Yeah.
little bit of dark, kind of punching you in the face, but we're going to do it really nicely.
Oh, yeah. Like a gentleman.
Sneak up on
I'm
him.
gonna punch you in the face like a gentleman.
Yeah.
Sir, I am going to strike you.
But I am no, for sure. And you know what? That is like, I love, especially like just speaking for myself, like to have like a tension underneath, like even if it's something that's like major key sort of, or like what I'm playing, I love to have like some sort of tension to that you're always holding on to. And then when you go to the next part, even then it's like, oh, it's not fully resolved. So now it's like you're leaving these questions to be answered, and you're just
Yeah.
always kind of
So
I don't know.
artsy. I love
yeah.
Yeah. So if somebody was coming up to you cold and hadn't really listened to you, how would you describe your music? What would you tell them?
Wow. I mean, yeah. I'll let you guys go because I keep it pretty simple. I'm just like, it's blues.
Do you want to do that? I'm bad with genres.
I would say that we're heavy rock would be the easiest explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Heavy
I like
rock
that.
band.
I say, yeah. Like,
I think there's a little funk and blues.
Yeah,
A little,
but
yeah, we try to pepper in some other stuff, not trying to be pigeonholed,
Yeah.
try to keep it light.
Yeah.
Lots of, some slow, some fast, some right in the middle.
I think too, like even your question that, our influences, you can see we come from very different backgrounds too. So it's hard. We really couldn't even narrow it down to one sound, really, I don't think, because we all play different stuff, really.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their own
Yeah.
thing, but we share music all the time. We do have quite a lot of similar interests between us too. So
sure.
Yeah, like me and Nick are super into like Days of the New, like Travis Meeks,
Cool.
I like Days.
Maybe
Maybe not as much as you guys.
A lot of people.
yeah, like dude, I brought it up to other people, and they're like, oh, but I love it. But really, when people ask us kind of what kind of our sound or genre is, I usually just ask them, well, do you like this or do you? And I'm like, well, then you'll probably dig this,
Yeah.
Just because even though we don't like sound particularly like anybody, I really just like we're funky blues rock jams. I'm like, what do you like, Budgie or Jefferson Airplane or
Right.
like some Hendrix or I don't know, so.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely have a unique voice, for your band. And one thing I was wondering about is, how long do you think it took you guys to develop that voice? Like, was it you got together and you had that vibe that you wanted, or was there a period of time where you were trying to figure out what worked, and then all of a sudden there's a pivotal moment, you click and you go, that's the sound we want to have?
I think.
Well,
I
yeah.
would think as like the new member coming in here, I think, and always, I think they would agree too, is it's still being developed, we're still finding it. So I think you always hopefully find, figuring that out a little bit more with each
We're
record.
just developing it because,
Developing it,
like we're almost a completely different band after the first album, although you were on the first album on the first or on the one of the tracks, the last
Towards
song.
the end.
I played the solo on the last song.
Yeah.
But
So that album is a little different than No God. So I don't know. I feel like we've been like really lucky that everybody that's come in is just kind of like been like, all right, and just came in. They were grooving right off the bat. So
Yeah.
very lucky at that point. Really didn't have to look very far. You know, and you know everybody gets along. So I'm grateful for these guys because you know we've got a good mix and good, you know, a good working relationship, like jamming with each other, like hanging out. And that's
now,
hard.
if
That's
Dan
not always
was
the truth.
here, we'd say like, okay, hold on. Like,
But he's not. He's not.
no, honestly, like when really the kind of stuff that I play with the Furs, really it came about like I came in and Kyle Whitefoot had written a bunch of a bunch of sweet songs, and I was just like, oh my god, these riffs are awesome, right? Like,
right.
and it wasn't really like how I played, so I kind of like really the like No God No Problems album, you know, guitar sound at least is really me like trying to just mesh my style with what I thought, you know, like would fit well with like Karen and Dan. You know, I had jammed with Dan quite a bit before, just like, you know, hanging out. Like Nick and Dan were in Trigger, and their room was right down the hall from the Furs room, so you know I would go jam there all the time. But
I don't know if me and you met prior to that.
no, I pretty much
Like
just
you
met,
jammed with us one time when I like jammed with me one time.
Yeah.
I was like,
That
hey.
this totally explains why I feel like I know Nick, because I saw Trigger.
Yeah.
So yeah. And
Yeah,
Nick,
me and Dan started playing music together when we were like 10 or 11. So
cool.
he asked me to join up with them, and I'm also good friends with Norbert too. So it was like a triangle. I was in the triangle relationship but it was a real easy answer, you know, because it's like my oldest friend came to me, so I was like, of course. Like,
and Norbert was cool because he, you know.
My oldest friend came to me.
It wasn't like
a van, and I just jumped in.
It wasn't.
So that works.
It wasn't like
if
anything
you want to pull
crazy.
it works.
Anyway,
just get him.
He ended up. Norbert was cool about it because he ended up showing you the songs.
Yeah,
and,
me and Norbert were.
Yeah.
And me and Norbert were actually playing in. We did like a Slipknot tribute act for like a Halloween. We had 9 guys in the mask. It was like really funny. So I was already hanging out with Norbert all the time.
Was that one of those creepy cheapy, whatever the shows?
Creepy.
Yeah. At the Crowfoot and Pontiac.
We had a fucking blast. It was so I didn't even really like all the Slipknot songs, and a lot of guys in the group really weren't even Slipknot fans, which was hilarious. But we had some pretty cool like local artists on stage with us. It was so much fun. There was like nine of us, and we just had a blast.
Awesome. That's awesome. So have you guys ever met like so we talked a little bit about your musical idols. Have you ever met one of the people you look up to in the music industry? And what was that experience like? What, like meeting them? So like if you met Ozzy or somebody. That's not the question, but like if you met somebody. And who have you met? How was that experience?
I met Paul Stanley.
Oh, cool.
He was super tall. Like
really?
He's like 6'2" or something. I did not know that.
Seriously? Wow.
Yeah. And
it's too tall.
You know, it was quick. It was quick. Like I was in a line, you know, it wasn't like we were eating dinner. Like I was in a line, we all met him. But he gave me his autograph, and then he said, he was like, "You seen the new Kiss DVD?" I was like, "No, I haven't seen it." He's like, "It rocks." It's like fucking total, like it's cheesy, but it's totally Paul Stanley. It's just so fucking funny. I loved it.
Oh man, that's awesome.
I'm a don't meet your idols kind of person. I got an opportunity to meet Mark Farner, and I turned it down.
What did you do, my son?
I know that he is really religious now, and I didn't want to tell him our band name. I was like, I don't want to meet Mark Farner and have him like go on a rant. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I love him too much. I just let's just not meet him.
Converted you.
Well, maybe it would have just went by. You'd be thinking like,
maybe
wow,
converted
really,
him.
really vivid.
There's no hope. Nothing exists.
Vivid fur coats. Come on.
Oh, Luke. Oh yeah, I should just play dumb. Like who?
Yeah. Who?
Wait, no,
I don't know.
Oh, I've met Travis Meeks. I met Travis.
Travis Meeks a few times.
Yeah. I met Travis Meeks. That for me was super cool. He was just like, he was actually nice. He's kind of notorious for being like a dick.
He was nice to me, but he gave me his autograph. He was super nice.
Yeah.
And then my older brother came up to him and was like, "How about me?" And he was like, "No." I swear to God. He was like, "No, not for you."
That's
I
enough.
was with
That is
Nigel.
enough nice
I was
for
with
today.
Like Nigel, right? And
Yep.
he like wrote out a set list and shit. That was cool. Other than that, I haven't really ever met anybody. You know, I mean, I've met Nick James.
Right?
Yeah.
I met Nick James. You know.
Well, now I know that
Oh, you have shit.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to meet him later, but he always flakes on me.
I accidentally locked eyes with Jack White at Leo's Country Oven in Mass Heights.
Oh my God. How'd you feel? Did your heart like?
I just turned around and I like stared at him for a second, and then he stared at me, and I was like, "That's Jack White," and then I went, "What?"
Dude,
You're
actually,
like, fuck, Meg's gonna be so mad. Me and Jack locked eyes.
dude, actually, me and Dan, we stopped at, we were on tour and we stopped in, remember we were outside of Lake Charles and we went into that music store. Dan was like, I gotta get some drumsticks.
Yeah, that's right.
He had to get drumsticks, so we went into the music store and the drummer from the Meters was
in there. Yeah.
Well, he like goes in there to get sticks every now and then. And he just chats it up with the guys.
Oh, wow.
And we got a picture with him and everything. He was super nice. Man. He's like, "Oh, you guys are on tour? Y'all from Detroit?" He's like, "Don't stop playing now. Don't let me down." He's like, "Don't let me down." And like that, I'll remember that forever. Like, because he was so sincere. He's like, "Don't stop playing.
That's
Don't let
awesome.
me down." You know. So yeah, that was.
That's always.
That was a cool store. That store was really sweet. I can't remember what it was called though.
Middle of nowhere. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like it was like 5 minutes out of Lake Charles, Louisiana. It's a great store. Wall to wall guitars, overwhelmingly.
Wow. I went to.
Not like Guitar Center where they're
No,
just
like-
playing.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
a little
no.
quieter.
Yeah, a little quieter, but bigger and crazier.
Yeah. There's a guitar store in Nashville that I can't remember the name of now. It's famous, but yeah, they've got it's wall to wall guitars, and then they've got like these super like rare guitars in there that are $100,000, and you're like, holy crap!
Oh
Who
yeah.
the hell's gonna buy that thing?
Remember
was,
when we went to Sweetwater and you played the piano that was worth $750,000, and I walked up and I looked at the price tag. I was like, get off of there right now.
But I was crushing it though.
I
So
know,
I was
like,
like, I
get
can't
off,
stop.
get off, get
I
off.
can't stop. I'm stoned, like playing some like like I'll never live this down if I break this piano.
Oh my god!
It sounded great though. I'm like, this is the one I'm not gonna stop playing.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Gordie's setting his beer on top. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh shit! Oh, I spilled it. Oh. Yeah, I'm like wiping off with my sleeve. I'm like, it'll be fine. It's fine.
Rubbing it in with your sleeve.
Yeah. Yeah, the finish is coming off on your. Like, oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, someone stained this like shit. It's their fault, really.
It starts like
let's
jam. I was like,
let's get out of here.
like a little kid. Like,
Yeah, it's a piece of shit.
So when you were talking about not wanting to meet,
Mark Varner.
Mark Varner, yeah. So how did you come up with the name, the Lucid Furs? I mean, I know it the connotation is, but
It's a lyric in a UFO song.
oh,
I didn't know that. I just learned that.
Damn.
I just learned that with you.
wow. Okay, cool. Very cool. Awesome.
I don't know if that's exactly what he says, but that's what it sounds like he says.
Oh,
Fur.
yeah.
I think so many
This is
people.
the second verse of Rock Bottom. Listen to it.
All right, cool.
So many times in my life, I've heard a song and been like, "Man, those lyrics are so cool," and then look them up and like, those are not the lyrics. And I'm
So
like,
then you take 'em,
Did I
you know?
write them?
Did
Did
I-
I write them then?
I just-
Is that how that works? I don't know.
That's a conundrum right there.
That happens to me all the time. I've realized that I was singing songs
Trademarking.
wrong for years. that's why, like, I don't like doing covers. Is like in Karma Glavo, we did that Pentagram cover, and then someone told me, like, in a comment on a video, like, years after it happened, that I was singing the first verse second and the second verse first. And I was just like,
You're like, it's better this way.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
wrote it wrong.
No, he fucked up.
Yeah. I don't know. It made more sense to me that way, so that's the way I sang it.
It's artistic interpretation.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
know, they're like stickler, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Color outside the boundaries every once in a while. Come on now. You know? Jeez.
That's why I was always bad at art too, because I will do that shit.
Every once in a while, you got to go rogue. You know, you just can't.
Inside,
why-
outside.
That's why I
outsides,
print, because I
inside.
make the lines.
Oh,
Yeah. Don't cross the
color
line.
in the lines? No, I make the lines.
I make the line.
You color within my lines.
So I sometimes like to find out like a little bit. I just find it fun to find out what was the first album you ever bought with your own money.
oh, that's for me. That's funny because I typically listen to kind of newer music. I don't think I listen to much music that's like more than 10 years old. I'm just like that. But I was sick at my dad's. He sat me down to watch The Who live.
Live at Leeds.
It was The Who live. It was that Tommy one, and
Oh,
Billy
yeah.
Idol came on, and I thought he was so fucking cool. So that was the first. That was the first. I bought the tape. We were at like Gibraltar,
Awesome.
and I found I forget what that Billy Idol, Eyes Without a Face and Catch My Fall and all that.
Right.
But yeah, that was Billy Idol, man. I always thought he was so cool.
Awesome.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
The first album I
Yeah.
went out to buy was Dookie by Green Day.
Oh, really?
It's kind of sweet.
All right.
I grew up with a
All
lot
right.
of Green Day.
I really like Basket
We're
Case.
learning things about each other. We're gonna
Wow.
argue. After this, we're gonna cry and
But-
cuddle. So
But then I went a couple years later and I bought what is American Idiot?
Yeah.
And then I was like real bummed. And I worked, like, I babysat, so I didn't have like a lot of money. And I walked up to Kmart when it came out,
We used
bought
to
it,
have
and
to
I put it in my
walk to
Walkman and I
buy
listened to it in the morning, and I was like, usually when I got an album, I would listen to it like all day after day for days on end.
Yeah.
And I put it on once and I was just like,
now
Yeah.
you can be
I just didn't like it. It was too different.
now you can be disappointed in a new album instantly.
Yeah.
You don't have to walk anywhere.
Instant disappointment. You don't have to walk anywhere to get disappointed.
You get disappointed right in
In bed.
Just shut up and go back to sleep. Fucking life sucks. Just stay.
Your first
Oh.
album. I'm interested.
My
I don't
first
know.
Whenever
My
you,
first
one you went
album-
out to buy.
first album that I went out to buy. It was Band of Gypsies. It was a Jimi
Yeah.
Hendrix Band of Gypsies vinyl.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
It's
This is
a
right on
first.
cue.
It's like
Damn.
an early
This is
like
way
first
better than mine. I
edition.
should have lied.
And I had no idea. I had no idea. It was an early first edition Band of Gypsies. I bought it around like Frankenmuth, and I gifted it to my dad.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's
But that was
fucking adorable.
yeah.
Aw.
Yeah. It's
Gordy.
Well, yeah.
It's always shining.
It's my fucking dad, you know? Come on, man.
What was your first album, man? I'm curious now.
Oh, my first
Brad.
album.
Questions now.
My first album was "Goodbye Yellow Brick Road" by Elton
Oh,
John.
sweet, dude.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, I was a huge when I was
What format was it?
that was LP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was back in the day. This is what 1972, 3.
Right on. Right on.
So I was 8, 9, 8 or 9, and I got some birthday money, and I'd been listening. A friend of mine, because I lived in Detroit at the time. He was a couple doors down, and he had been listening to Elton John, and it was crazy. He could actually sing like Elton John, and he was like a little kid, and he could sing like Elton John. I'm like, Jesus Christ! And he knew all the lyrics and everything. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Nice,
Yeah,
dude. I'm just now getting hip to like, because I'm a big Rod Stewart fan, like the early, like the Faces and with Jeff Beck and like Rod Stewart, like those first couple solo albums.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I keep looking up these songs, and I'm like, that's a fucking Elton John song. I'm like Rod Stewart. He's like a Joe Cocker, right? He's just like, I'm gonna sing this guy's song. One of the songs, I can't remember the name right now, but it was like Elton John. You know, Rod Stewart had covered a bunch of Elton John on the early albums, and then like Elton John gave him a song that he hadn't recorded. It was just like one that he had like demos for. And then, of course, so Elton John was probably like, look, if you're going to record my song, do one that I haven't released yet. Jeez. Come on, dude. He's like, you know what, I'll just keep it. It's the one where, oh, man, I can't think of it.
I'm going to have to Google this to find out about that.
I was getting hip to the early Elton John, and I'm like, he looks like John Lennon. Like, he's just got, like, long sideburns and, like, cool small glasses. They're not like this yet. They're like like mini guys.
Just like in the early stages before.
If you like Rod Stewart, once live shows start back up again, you got to go see my old landlord, Danny D. You know Danny D?
No.
He's a Hamtramck legend.
Oh, really?
He's a Rod Stewart impersonator, and he has Tourette's.
Really?
Yeah, and he's really good, and he looks just like Rod Stewart. That's
really?
all.
Wow.
His mom confused him for Rod Stewart at
who's this fine
St. Clair Shores. She like ran up.
So she went home with this dude.
No.
So anyway, she went home.
Best landlord I ever had, by the way. Came over to fix my sink in a 3-piece suit.
Awesome.
Yeah, great.
That's
greatest
awesome.
landlord ever. And greatest Rod Stewart impersonator ever, for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I got to check that out. Yeah, when the shows come back, that'll be cool.
Yeah, he's good for sure.
I think that would be the name of our next album too. When the shows come back.
Yeah, when the shows come back.
Yeah,
when the
actually.
shows come back.
So meaningful.
Wow.
Become a real crazy.
So, guys, I just have one more question for you, and I want to thank you so much for being a part of Fans of Bands. It's great to see you
Thank
guys.
you for having us. This was fun.
Yeah, it's great to see you guys, even if it's virtual. Can't wait to actually see you live.
Dan couldn't make it.
The song is Country Comfort by
Country Comfort. Oh yeah, that's definitely
Country Comfort and the road that's going home. Dude,
that's on that song's on Tumbleweed Connection.
Yeah. So I just got hip to that like early Elton John stuff. I love it, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's a great album too. It's fantastic. Country Comfort, and there's another one on there. Shoot, I can't think of it. I'm gonna have to break that out now. God damn.
I know, dude. Right? I gotta get that on vinyl. I gotta get that Elton John vinyl.
So the last question I have for you guys, and it's kind of controversial. Yeah. So hopefully this won't create a riff.
I have to run this by our lawyer first. I'm sorry.
Throw either of them under the bus.
I got the mouse on leave, guys.
So, pineapple or no pineapple on pizza?
Oh,
pineapple.
Jesus Christ.
Pineapple and feta.
Whoa.
Pineapple. Oh. Hey.
Whoa.
That's
Everyone's pineapple.
Wait, no, I didn't say pineapple. I said pineapple and feta.
It's got to be together.
Jalapeno.
Yes.
You know what's fucked up? I don't even like pineapple.
The other two options.
Like, I don't like pineapples by themselves.
That's messed
But if you throw it on a pizza, that's why the whole controversy fucks me up. Because like this is the only way I've ever enjoyed the fruit.
Were you with us when we were on the road in the van and we wanted pineapple really bad, and we went to Walmart and I bought a pineapple, and then I put like a bag in my lap and I'm like cutting up a pineapple with a utility knife in the front seat while we're driving, just like slicing up the spines.
Like I said, we always get food on the road.
Oh my god!
It was like a bag full of pineapple. I'm like, I guess reach in there, guys, or I'll see.
And it was a beautiful dance.
This
A beautiful dance.
terrible road food, for sure.
It's like brain surgery.
Oh my god!
Don't go into Walmart in the morning, stoned, when you're on tour, and buy a pineapple, kids. Don't do it.
Do.
Yes, do it.
Make our mistake. That should be the
That's
album
the name
name.
of the
Make
next
our,
album,
make
too.
our
That's-
mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Look,
Repeat our mistakes.
if nobody learns from
exactly as
them,
they happen.
are they mistakes? I don't know. Nobody learns from.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, guys, so much. It's great to see you.
Yeah,
Great to
Thanks
see
for the
you.
laughs. Thanks for talking with me.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
All right. Take care, guys.
Peace, brother.
All right. Thanks again to Karen, Gordie, and Nick from the Lucid Furs, along with Kate, for joining me in this episode of Fans with Bands. Sorry, Kate, that your mic wasn't working, but hopefully you enjoyed our banter. Be on the lookout for new Lucid Furs music in the near future. In the meantime, head over to Bandcamp and check out their fantastic psychedelic hard rock. If anyone tries to tell you that rock is dead, call bullshit and then crank out the Lucid Furs. See the show notes for all the details and links. These are tough times for everyone in the creative industries such as music. Your support of live streaming, purchasing music, and merchandise is critical. If you can help out your local artists, please do. If you are in the Michigan area, consider following the Playing in the Detroit Area Tonight Facebook page. It is a place for fans and bands to support each other and share our combined love of music. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast service to get each and every episode of Fans with Bands. Spread the word by rating the show and leaving a comment. We want to hear what you think. You can keep in touch by following us on social media. This is a Life in Michigan production. Until next time, be well and kick out the jams.